Greetings, humans. I'm Andy, and I'm Jerry, and this is Couscous, and welcome back to the Windmill Full of Corpses, the orange one or the blue one. Okay, so I was thinking about Portal as well, the game, and from my limited experience playing those games, memory would have me believe that stepping through the portal and then breathing is not something you do, because once you step through the portal, probably something on the other side is gonna shoot at you. Yeah, well, if your breath cuts out, you're pretty fucked, so maybe you should breathe. Yeah, actually, you should breathe like a person does during a workout, but I mean, you're not just gonna step through the portal and go... Right? No, that's not what it's saying. The title is just a instruction, like once you get there, keep your breath steady and pay attention. Stay calm. Military training. Okay. Pew pew. So, enough of that nonsense, but this is Step Through the Portal and Breathe, the third single from the, at the time of recording, upcoming album from Fallujah, Xenotaph. I'm really hyped about this one. Previous songs were great. They were. No. Let's go! Wow! Yes! So much, yes! Dude, the drums! This is so good! Okay, you're just gonna start making sense all of a sudden? Wow! What's happening? So I've been having discussions with someone about old school metal versus more modern metal stuff, like core stuff and whatever, and how presumably the old school metal is properly metal and like metalcore and stuff isn't metal and all of these. And I'm like, can we just meet in between and tech death? It's everything. It's all the things. It is kind of all the things. It's so beautiful. It's a lot of the things, but it's not all the things. Like there's no Taylor Swift in this. Exactly. So the derailment that you've just seen in our discussion is again a symptom of not knowing where to grab this. Wow, that was such a journey. I don't think it had a structure. Verse, chorus, anything like that. I would have to listen to it again to spot repeating patterns if there are any. If there aren't any, I'm perfectly happy with that because all of the things were good. I think if there was anything repeating, it must have only happened throughout the first half of the song because then they just started having these like 180-degree complete changes in vibe and pace and tempo and everything. Yeah, like there was that, the first time they went for a kind of clean part and then out of that they go into a catchy part, and up until that point it had all been abstract math. Yeah. So it's like you write a song that is very satisfying but doesn't make sense, and then all of a sudden it starts making sense and then it stops making sense again. I don't remember who in our comments, I think maybe it was Fred. Fred is one of our closest followers, shout out to Fred, said that if you actually think about the nature of the riffs, there's a lot of Neo Obliviscaris going on. I feel like that makes sense, but I feel like you have to strip out all the black metal from Neo Obliviscaris to get Fallujah. Neo Obliviscaris has that aesthetic a lot, especially on the drums. It's very blast beat heavy, and it has more of a monotone tendency, especially on the first album, but also on the more recent ones, I think, of things being long and drawn out and extended, and in that thing. And this is just like ADHD running, changing all the time. You know what's the best metaphor for this? This is like going on a road trip in an F1 car. Right? Yes. And you're just zipping around on the motorway. Yeah. I also got that in the vocals. We got that, like, these more like half screams, these more wailing sounds. Yeah. That gave it a bit more soul. But the biggest soul to me definitely comes from the lead guitars. So we had 3 solos in this. Scott, the other guy, Scott. Yeah. The other guy. Scott is the only person in the band whose name I know. Yeah, same. I know more titles than I know. This is how you know that I'm a real one. I know more titles of songs than I know names of band members. It's not about the people, it's about what they do. That's gonna eventually happen with any band, that has more songs than members, which is most of them. Yeah, but I think if you just went to average music listeners and asked them about their favorite bands, would you bet that they know more song titles than they know names of people in the band? It depends what fans we're talking about. And what bands we're talking about. I'm not ready to name names. I feel like this is going in controversial territory and I don't want the smack. Sleep Token! Nah, I'm pretty sure there are some Sleep Token fanatics probably know every single lyric. I know. Yeah. Of course, he had to drop a bomb, because why not? Yeah, of course! We've just been under bombardment. Yeah. Now you should too. And all of the bendy and tremolo stuff definitely take me to Pliny. I can see that, but more ADHD. Yeah, everything is more ADHD. And more articulation. Yeah. Because Pliny's stuff, and actually a lot of solo stuff, are very flowy and bendy and things like that. And these guys are just like... So when you say articulation, you mean that it has a bit more of a mechanical feel. You don't necessarily mean that they play more articulate than Pliny. Because Pliny is like super precise. Yeah, he's super tight. No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is the aesthetic, the sound, everything is very attack-driven, very mathematical, very precise, machinery-like. And the production too. Yeah. You can hear everything. It's not just that it sounds clear and punchy and hi-fi. You can hear all the things very, very well segmented and distinguished, and like, here is bass, here is guitar 1, here is guitar 2, here is one layer of vocals, here's the other layer of vocals. I can pick out any one of them at any point in the song if I want to. Yeah, and you know where that comes across really well? Like through the atmospheric part where the bass comes forward, it's like, usually when that happens in songs, you're like, oh, the bass. But at that point, I had already thought about the bass 3 times. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Even though it wasn't at the forefront, like all the things leap out at you. And one more thing that I really have to congratulate. It's almost playthrough video-like. Yeah. Aside from the fact that they have some cool sceneries that change and maybe take you on a trip like that, it's very much like a playthrough video. And you get long frames to see the people do their magic. Like you could see the guy... You could see his pattern on the cymbal, like repeat twice, right? I loved how through a chill part, the dude was almost blasting on the hi-hat. Yeah. Like it was really fast. I think it was kind of cut and stuff, so it wasn't like a blast, but just that kind of extremity you would expect it comes on the really heavy parts, but it's like, nope, we can do super fast, ridiculous shit and have it sound chill. Yep. That's how you know they're really good at it. Yep. I'm very happy with this. I can't wait for this album. I have been a bit too tech death deprived lately. Are we done here? No. So if you enjoyed this reaction, we'd greatly appreciate the likes and shares. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe with bells on. Thank you very much for stopping by. We hope you enjoyed your stay, and we'd love to see you back at the Windmill very soon. Course it out.